Hello everybody, Tyrone the God 3 here, and welcome to part 14 of the Dragon Ball Z movie reviews. Look how far we've come, people. It is time to do the review of the movie 14, Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods. This is my favorite Dragon Ball Z movie of all time. It's a lot of people's favorites, and it has all rights to be. This movie is just perfect. Like, this movie is great. This movie has everything it needs to be a legit Dragon Ball Z movie. So it's time to go into why. So let's get started, everybody. So, timeline placement. This movie takes place after the Wrath of Dragon movie. So it takes place within the main timeline after the Z Warriors have beaten Majin Buu. There's one small thing to note, though, as an actual error. I know this is my favorite movie in the world, but it has a little bit of an error. The error is that in this movie, Videl is pregnant with Pan. The Pan that you see later on in the last few episodes of Dragon Ball Z and in all of Dragon Ball GT. So, with that said, Bulla is nowhere to be seen in this movie, or Bra if you're from Japan, because her name is Bra in Japan. Bra is nowhere to be seen in this movie at all. Yet, in the World Tournament, when Pan enters, Bra shows to be older than Pan, which means that Bra should have already been in the movie at some point. And she technically is a Saiyan because her father is Vegeta. So, yeah, that's one small error, but I'm not going to nitpick at it because this movie, Akira Toriyama took a big break when making this, before making this movie, because you can tell that this movie came out around 2013, I believe, and this movie came out around 2013, and the freaking other movies came out in like 1990s, so it's a giant break, and a giant gap between things, so I'm not going to give it too much flack. With that said, let's get started with the summary, everybody. So, the movie basically begins in the corners of space. Basically in space, we see this giant, illustrious, fortress. And when we see the fortress, Whis appears in front of the fortress, and Whis basically confirms that the time for Bills' slumber is up. So Bills is just chilling, he's sleeping, and one of the what do they call it, hourglass? Yeah, one of the hourglass alarms blows up in front of Bills, and it catches Bill's attention, and he slightly wakes up, but he's about to go back to sleep again. And then another one blows up, and he's like, crap, this keeps happening. And Whis is like, you're the one that set the alarm because you wanted to go sleep for about, I think the timeline says about 100 years, no, it was even more than that. I was think it was about 50 to 100 years. So, yeah, Bills took a long sleep. He took a really long sleep. I think about a 50-year sleep. I'm sorry if I was mistaken. He took a really long sleep. And these hourglasses are just blowing up all around Bills. And he's like, all right, I'll wake up. So after that, we cut to his little dining room. And the dining room's huge. It's filled with fish because he's a cat and he likes fish. Bills, also in America, his name is Beerus because in the Dragon Ball Z game Battle of Z, they've rechanged his name to Beerus. It was probably because Bills couldn't transfer over well. Anyway, when that happened, Bills is eating tons of food. He's eating fish, he's eating chickens, cakes, pies, all of that crap, just all on the dining room table. And while he's doing that, he's also floating on his little chair. And then he goes, what's the status of planet Vegeta? One of the planets that he was going to destroy anyway. And Whis basically tells Bills that Frieza's the one who blew up planet Vegeta. So the planet that Bills was going to destroy had already been destroyed by Frieza. Because Bills, for those of y'all who haven't watched the movie, is known as the god of destruction. which means that he's not exactly a bad guy. It's just that for every planet that must be created, one has to be destroyed in order to keep like a balanced number of planets. So to do that, Bill's job is to destroy planets, while it's another person's job to create planets. So when Bills finds that out, he wants to go ahead and destroy Frieza because he's had it up to here with Frieza's arrogance, much like many other villains. I'm looking at you, Cooler. But Bills finds out by Whis that Frieza is actually killed. Frieza's destroyed. And Bills wants to know exactly who did that. And basically a big screen shows up, like a projector screen on his window shows up, and it shows that Goku is the one who defeated Frieza by transforming into the legendary status known as Super Saiyan. Bill swears that he heard the phrase Super Saiyan once before in a dream that he had while he was asleep. He learns then that in his dream he had a dream of actually fighting a Super Saiyan, or actually a Super Saiyan known as a Super Saiyan God. So a level that's far beyond any of the levels of Super Saiyan that we have seen so far. With that said, Bills and Whis head towards this giant lake in order to meet up with this godlike fish known as the Oracle Fish. Bills actually asks questions about this Super Saiyan God and sees what the Oracle Fish will know. The Oracle Fish basically tells Bills that the Super Saiyan God does exist and that you'll probably be in a giant fight with one in a few. And Bills is like, this intrigues me. How many Saiyans are left? Because if there's Saiyans, then they may know how to transform Super Saiyan God and I can fight them. Whis apparently knows how to gather up information really, really fast, and he confirms that there is exactly 4 Super Saiyans on Earth and 1 Super Saiyan on King Kai's planet, which this is another small issue. King Kai's planet apparently was apparently wished back to reality, and it's a little bit bigger than it was before, probably just for this movie. But in the past, King Kai's planet was destroyed, and because of Goku instant transmission imperfect sail towards the planet, but apparently it got wished back somehow, because in all the movies we've seen beforehand, King Kai has been living with Grand Kai and the others in Otherworld, but now it's back, so he has his own planet. So with that said, the closest area to where Bills is now is King Kai's planet and not Earth. Earth is even further. So Bills decides to go towards the first Saiyan that's at King Kai's planet in order to find out more about this Super Saiyan God transformation. And it's actually funny to note, Bills asks how long it would take to get to King Kai's planet. And Whis confirms it'll take about 1 hour. Bills goes, good, that's long enough for me to watch 2 episodes of anime. I love that. It shows that he's a fan of anime, and it's a little hinting towards the fourth wall. So anyway, they head off. With that said, we cut to when that all said, we cut to King Kai's planet. When we cut to King Kai's planet, Supreme Kai and King Kai are actually having a conversation. Supreme Kai basically tells King Kai that Bills, the god of destruction, has finally woken up after his really long slumber. And King Kai's like, oh god, that's bad. We can't tell Goku about this at all. Goku overhears the conversation while training with Bubbles and Gregory running around the King Kai planet. And he wants to know exactly what's going on. While this is happening, we cut to Earth, and when we cut to Earth, Bulma is having her birthday party. I'm not gonna say what age she is as of yet, but basically she's celebrating her birthday. Krillin asks exactly how old Bulma is, and she does not reveal it at all because she says that it's rude to ask that question. She gets mad because Vegeta and Goku aren't around at her birthday because they're too busy training. And then, when this ends up happening, we see everybody setting up for the party. We cut back to King Kai's planet, and when Goku overhears the whole story about Bills, the god of destruction, Goku is really interested, and King Kai accidentally splurts out the information about Bills. Goku shows a real big interest in wanting to fight him, but King Kai basically tells him no, he's a level way beyond you. You can't fight Bills. If you do, you'll get hurt. Like, you could possibly die. And Goku gets more and more excited. And King Kai notices that Bills is coming and he tells Goku to hide. When Goku is hiding, he's hiding in King Kai's house. Bills and Whis land right in front of King Kai and scare the ever-living shit out of him. It's hilarious. And so after that, King Kai basically is being all formal and stuff. It's nice to meet you, Lord Bills, and things like that. But Bills already knows that Goku is hiding in the house. And he's like, hey, can I speak with that Sand that's hiding in there behind the house? Goku jumps out of the house and is like, hey, what's up, man? And King Kai basically punches Goku on the head, telling him, hey, you need to show more respect. This is Bills, the god of destruction. Bow. And Goku's like, okay, yeah. Sorry about that. I'm Goku, and it's a pleasure to meet you. And Bills is like, well, you don't need to be all formal. Screw that. So then, Whis and Bills both ask about the Super Saiyan God, and Goku has no idea what he's talking about. Goku knows of the Super Saiyan transformation, but he doesn't know anything about Super Saiyan God. So he basically tells Bills that, like, I don't know what you're talking about. Then Goku switches the topics for a second and basically tells Bills he really wants to fight him. So Bills accepts the challenge and the fight is about to begin. Before the fight even starts, Goku explains that while he doesn't know anything about the Super Saiyan God, he does have quite a few Super Saiyan transformations. He transforms Super Saiyan 1, then transforms Super Saiyan 2, and then finally transforms Super Saiyan 3 before he starts the fight because he knows that he'll have to go all out in order to fight off against Bills. When the fight basically begins, Goku's at Super Saiyan 3 charges towards Bills and misses all of his punches. Like, all of his punches are basically missing. Bills is dodging them all with pure ease. He even goes as far as to stand on top of Goku's fist while he's doing a lot of his punches. And when Goku does like a serious punch, Bills immediately flips and dodges out of the way, then gets towards Goku, flicks him in the head. And that flick is strong enough to send Goku all the way to the other half of King Kai's planet. Goku recovers from that flick to the head, but even afterwards it still shows to do a lot of damage. And then Bills is behind Goku. Goku gets mad about that and tries to kick him, but it ends up missing. And then Goku keeps trying to punch him. Then he even goes as far as to do a teleported punch behind Bills and do a very strong, like, right-armed punch. Bills immediately moves out of the way, but no teleport animation happens. He just moves so fast that he's gone. Goku does the punch and it's strong enough to burst a huge hole inside of King Kai's planet. When that ends up happening, Goku notices that he didn't punch anything, and before he even has time to realize what happened, Bills is immediately behind him, does a small karate chop on his neck, and Goku transforms back normal state instantly and faints. So yeah, that's how strong Bills, the god of destruction, is. Knocked out Super Saiyan 3 Goku effortlessly. So with Goku knocked out, Bills basically tells King Kai that this is definitely not the Super Saiyan God I had dreamed about and at all. We're going to go to Earth to find the remaining Saiyans so we can find out more about the Super Saiyan God. And he immediately teleports out of there along with Wisp. King Kai really gets scared at this because he knows what Bills just did to Goku and immediately goes in to warn Vegeta about what's going on. We cut back to Earth where the party is going on, everybody's celebrating and having a good time and whatnot. And we even see that Emperor Pilaf, Shu, and Mai are at the party for some reason. They're there actually to go try and get the Dragon Balls because they were looking for them. And you also notice that Shu and Mai are a lot younger than they're supposed to be. They're younger in this movie because they actually found the Dragon Balls in an earlier scenario where Goku and the others weren't involved, and they wished for youth. Unfortunately, it went too far and they got turned into kids. Meanwhile, we cut to Vegeta training in the training room against a lot of these like weird little robot things. And when that happens, King Kai basically talks to Vegeta telepathically and tells Vegeta that, hey, Bills, the god of destruction, will be headed to your planet soon. Vegeta, you have to do whatever it takes not to piss him off. He basically knocked out Goku with one karate chop while he was on Super Saiyan 3. Vegeta learns of this and he gets immediately scared, like, oh crap, that's not good at all. So with that said, Vegeta goes out to the party and sees what's going on, and Bulma is really pissed about it, and she's actually a little drunk. It's kind of funny. And she gets really pissed that Vegeta isn't around to the party, and Vegeta's looking around and then notices that Bills, the god of destruction, is finally there. When this all is happening, Bills introduces himself to Vegeta, and Vegeta finally looks at Bills and recognizes who he looks like. Then we cut to a flashback, and the flashback basically shows Vegeta as he was a child looking at his father and Bills, the god of destruction, when they're at a dining table on planet Vegeta. Vegeta basically offered a bunch of food and pleaded with Bills, the god of destruction, not to destroy planet Vegeta. Bills even goes as far as to stomp on King Vegeta's head and make him bow down in a very humiliating manner. So then we cut back to the present day, and Vegeta finally recognizes who he is, and Bills goes, I haven't seen you in a while, Vegeta. I haven't seen you since you were a kid. So Vegeta gets scared, and he's like, hey, it's an honor to meet you, Bills, Lord Bills, God of Destruction. Vegeta gets really formal, too, as to show proper Saiyan respect. Bulma shows up, and when Bulma shows up and gets all mad that Vegeta's not there at the party, Vegeta introduces Bills and basically says, hey, this is my wife. And Bulma's like, hey, what are you doing out here, Mr. Bills, or whoever you are? Why don't you go join the party? So Bills actually gets interested in the party because Bills likes food, and Whis does too. So they all engage in like dancing and partying and eating food and everything else. While this is all happening, Shu, Mai, and Emperor Pilaf go into a room, and this room basically contains all of the prizes that they'll be winning during the bingo competition. And all of the prizes included, like, one was like a lifetime supply of ham, another one was a giant boat, one was like all of these treasures and gold, one was a huge diamond that Mai picked up because she really liked it. And then the last prize, which was the best one of all, was the 7 Dragon Balls. Emperor Pilaf ends up taking one of the Dragon Balls, and they end up trying to take the rest of them, but Kid Trunks and Goten actually catch them into the bingo prize room while they were playing. They get scared at Goten because Goten looks a lot like Kid Goku, so they immediately jolt out of the area due to pure fear. But Mai goes back and gives Kid Trunks the diamond as like a peace offering so that they won't hurt them. Goten wonders exactly what was going on and who was that girl that gave Trunks the diamond, and Trunks lies and says that, hey, that's my girlfriend. So yeah, that's pretty funny. We cut back to the party, and when the party happens, Mai and Emperor Pilaf and Shu are out there, and they're all just like, who, we barely made it out of there. And Bulma looks at Mai, and Goten and Trunks come up to Bulma, and Bulma's like, who's that? And Goten tells Bulma that, hey, that's Kid Trunks' girlfriend or whatever. And then what ends up happening, Bulma's like, hey, you should bring her over and introduce her to me. I mean, I'm your mom or whatever. Kid Trunks brings Mai to Bulma, and Mai basically plays along because Emperor Pilaf told her to, because they don't want to blow their cover. When that ends up happening, Mai tells her real age, which is like 40 something, and they all laugh at her because they don't believe it's true at all. And she's like, hey, take me seriously. And Kid Trunks is all like, yeah, this is my girlfriend or whatever. And they start holding hands. And what ends up happening afterwards is that the bingo game is about to start. Now, what ends up, before all of that happens, Bills is showing to enjoy himself at the party. And Gohan is really drunk and dresses up as the Great Saiyan Man. But this all basically started when Mai threatened to hold Kid Trunks as hostage. And when this all is happening, she has the gun, and Gohan dresses up as Great Saiyan Man in order to play along with all of this facade. And when that happens, Mai ends up trying to shoot at Gohan because Gohan requested that she does this. And drunk-ass Great Saiyan Man deflects all of the bullets with his finger. However, he's not paying attention to what he's doing because 2 of the bullets deflect off into 2 different areas. One of them deflects and hits Videl in the knee. And when that hits Videl in the knee, Dende comes in and tries to heal Videl because it hit her in the knee. And when he's doing that, he notices that Videl is carrying another life form inside of her body. So long story short, Videl's pregnant. And Videl's like, shh, I want you to keep it a secret. I want to tell Gohan and the others later. And Dende's like, okay. The other bullet deflects and hits Bills in the face. And then everybody's like all scared because Bill starts powering up and things start getting out of hand. And then Vegeta's like, hold on, don't get so angry. It's time to play bingo. And Vegeta goes into his little bingo dance and it's hilarious. He's doing like a very humiliating, out of character dance for Vegeta. Vegeta's just like, everybody bingo, bingo. And then Bills is like, wow, that was so humiliatingly bad. I'm not even angry anymore. That was just bad. It was laughably bad. So then the bingo game gets started and Bulma reveals all of the prizes that they'll get if they win the bingo game. And one of the prizes was the Dragon Balls, like I said before. And when they see the Dragon Balls, they notice that one of them is missing. And Bills actually knows of the Dragon Balls. And he's like, so there are Earth versions of this. I thought they were only on Namek. And when that's shown off, all of the Dragon Balls are shown except for one. Yamcha points it out. And when Emperor Pilaf tries to sneak away with it, and they're like, there's the Dragon Ball, and then they basically force him to give it back. And when all of that's going down, they get that Dragon Ball back, and while this is all happening, Bill sees that there is some snacks. And he's been eating pretty much food since he's got here. And Whis is like, hey, there's some really good snack food that Earthlings made called pudding. It's really good. And Bills is like, pudding now. And he looks at Majin Buu and sees that Majin Buu is eating all of the pudding. And Bills is like, hey, can we have some of that pudding? And Buu is like, no, this is all mine. Screw off. And Bills is like, you need to share some of that pudding. And then Boo's like, no, I'm going to eat it all. And Boo ends up eating all of the pudding. And Bills calls him an idiot. And Boo says, don't call me an idiot, you idiot. And then they just have this big argument. And then Bills gets really pissed off. And when he gets pissed off, he ends up smacking Boo out of the way with a energy force attack, whatever. He knocks Boo out of the way. And when he knocks Boo out of the way, everybody is noticing this commotion that's going on. And Vegeta's like, Bills, please calm down. But Bills is already too mad because he didn't get a chance to eat any pudding. So now he wants to destroy the entire world. Yep, for pudding. So while that's happening, Piccolo, Android 18, and Tien go in to attack. Android 18 punches first, but Bills teleports really fast and karate chops Android 18 in the neck. She's out. Tien tries to attack, and Bills picks up like these chopsticks, grabs Tien's entire fist, and throws him out of the way. Then Piccolo tries to attack, and when Piccolo tries to attack, Bills stops Piccolo's kick, and Bills points the chopsticks to two areas of Piccolo's chest, and Piccolo's out. So Bills is an expert fighter when it comes to pressure points. Piccolo's out, and when that happens, Goten and Trunks go in to fight off against Bills as well. When they end up doing this, Emperor Pilaf, Shu, and Mai end up fainting because of all of the commotion going on, and Goten and Trunks do the fusion and end up making Gotenks. When they end up making Gotenks, Bills immediately picks Gotenks up and starts spanking him on the ass and then knocks him out of the way. Then he picks up Fat Boo and he's about to kick him. Gohan comes in and attacks, and Gohan transforms Ultimate Gohan, which is weird because this scene, when it was shown off in the trailers, Gohan actually turned Super Saiyan. So they changed it in the movie and made him turn Ultimate Gohan. So he picks up Fat Boo and is about to throw him into the river. And when that ends up happening, Gohan puts Bills in a full Nelson for a minute. Bills finds a way to like slip out of it and then ends up kicking Gohan pure in the stomach, and that knocks him out. So then he kicks Fat Boo out of the way and then throws Gohan aside like a rag doll, and Vegeta's like, screw it. Bills is already angry. There's nothing else we can do. Might as well try to fight him. Vegeta transforms Super Saiyan 2 and attacks Bill, but it misses, and then Bills kicks Vegeta out of the way. And then Bills is basically really pissed and about to destroy everything. Bulma walks up to Bills and gets pissed and is like, hey, you ruined my 38th birthday party. And then Krillin's like, oh, that's how old Bulma is. She smacks Bills in the face for ruining the party. Bills gets mad and smacks her straight to the ground. Vegeta saw that Bills smacked Bulma to the ground. He gets really mad. Transforms Super Saiyan 2 again, only this time he's really pissed. So his aura is like huge. He ends up attacking Bills. Bills ends up punching Vegeta in the face, but he takes that punch perfectly and ends up just wailing on Bills. I mean, like, he's doing some serious damage to this dude. He's punching him, kicking him, punching him, kicks him straight into the air, and then finishes him off with a final flash, which oddly is purple instead of gold or blue. Anyway, he does Final Flash, and Master Roshi points out that Vegeta's actually stronger than Goku at this point, like his power level. So it's a sign that Vegeta really cares for Bulma now, and it shows how pure of heart Vegeta has become over the years. So yeah, with that said, Bills took an ass whooping for a second. Bills spits out some blood that Vegeta had basically made. Vegeta made Bills bleed in the mouth, so he spits out some of that blood. And then Vegeta notices that he used up all of his energy on that one attack. So Bills teleports and ends up knocking Vegeta out by pointing the pressure point at Vegeta's head. So he ends up turning back normal state and falling to the ground. And Bulma goes to see if he's okay. With that said, Bills is like, none of you Saiyans are Super Saiyan God at all. And there's no pudding either. So I'm really pissed about that. So Bills goes in and he's about to destroy the entire Earth. And it looks like it's over for everybody, because no one else is strong enough to even do anything to Bills. So with that said, the Earth looks like it's about to be destroyed. Goku comes in and it says, wait a minute. Goku comes in and is like, hey. So, and by the way, while all of this was happening, Goku was training on King Kai's planet to become Super Saiyan God, but he knew he was getting nowhere fast. So before the planet gets destroyed by Bills, Goku goes, wait a minute. If we can find some way to bring Super Saiyan God here, can you spare our planet? And Bills is like, probably, but how are you going to do that? So Goku goes in and sees that the Dragon Balls are there, and it's like, hey, we can use the Dragon Balls in order to ask Shenron how to transform Super Saiyan God. And they do that. And when they do that, they summon the dragon, and Shenron immediately looks at Bills and gets scared. He's like, oh crap, Bills is here. So even Shenron is aware of how powerful Bills is. So with that said, Bills makes the request to say, hey, is there a way to bring the Super Saiyan God here? And Shenron goes, yes, Super Saiyan God exists, but no, there's no way I can really bring him here. And then Goku goes, well, can you at least tell us how to make a Super Saiyan God? And Shenron basically tells the history of the Super Saiyan God. And it reveals that long ago, the Saiyans weren't actually evil. There was a group of Saiyans that decided to be evil, and they started an evil-like rebellion. And then the only Saiyans that were left to to fight off the rebellious Saiyans were 6 Saiyans left. And they all got together and joined hands and shared their power into one of the Saiyans, and that Saiyan ended up becoming Super Saiyan God. Unfortunately, since the Super Saiyan God transformation has a time limit, the time limit was out, and Super Saiyan God ends up getting killed by the evil Saiyans, and that's how the Saiyans became how they are today. Well, how they are back then before this saga happened. So yeah, we learned some backstory about the Saiyans, and we learned that there were good Saiyans and bad Saiyans, and the Super Saiyan God and how to make one. So with that said, they learned that, okay, if Saiyans unite their energies, pure-hearted Saiyans unite their energy, then the Super Saiyan God can be made. Now, they try to do this, so Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks all join hands together, and Master Roshi and the others joke and say, well, what about Vegeta? He's not pure of heart. He's like, he is now. He's a good guy. And Vegeta gets mad and is like, how come Goku gets to be the host? And they're like, stop complaining, and it was weird. It's like, why? There was no real explanation for why Goku got to be the host. I guess because Goku made the request to fight Bills first. So anyway, they all put their powers into Goku, and Goku is really, really strong. Like, his energy is really high. Unfortunately, he's not a Super Saiyan God. Piccolo calls him out on it. He's like, no, you're not at God level. And Bills is like, Piccolo's correct. All you've done was just raise your power level to its highest peak. So you're not at Super Saiyan God quite yet. And then Whis goes, hey, in the story, didn't they say 6 Saiyans got together? There's only 5 of you. And Goku's like, oh, crap, we need one more Saiyan. And then Bulma goes, well, what about your little brother? And they're referencing the special, the Dragon Ball Z special, Yo, Goku and His Friends Return, which I will review later. And Vegeta's like, well, Tarble is gone. Tarble's on some distant planet. We don't know where he is anymore. So they're like, ah, crap. And then Dende goes, well, we do have one more option. And Videl comes out and it's like, yeah, we do. We do have 6 Saiyans because I'm carrying 1 Saiyan inside of me. So they learn that Videl is pregnant, and Gohan gets really happy and they all celebrate. And Bills is like, well, then can we get to it and try to make this work? So Videl joins hands with the rest of the Saiyans, hopefully to use Pan's energy in order to gather in and make Goku transform into a Super Saiyan guy. They do this again, and this time instead of yellow aura transforming towards Goku, they notice that blue aura is headed towards Goku's body instead. It lifts Goku into the air, the blue aura engulfs Goku, and he transforms into Super Saiyan God. Super Saiyan God basically looks like his normal state transformation. The only difference is that he's a little bit slimmer now, and his hair has turned into this bright purplish red, like this bright red purple color, and his eyebrows and his eyes have turned that color too. And instead of a regular like Super Saiyan aura, he has this flaming red and orange aura now. So yeah, he's achieved the Super Saiyan God transformation. And Bills is like, yeah, you have God energy now. And the others can't sense Goku's energy because God energy is different than regular ki. So with that said, the fight is about to begin. When the fight does begin, Goku gets ready and Bills gets ready, and Goku basically teleports towards Bills and punches him, and that one punch causes the entire area around them to turn into a big dirt wasteland. So with that said, they start the fight off, and when they start the fight off, they're fighting really fast and powerful, typical Dragon Ball Z fashion. Goku's able to fight on par with Bills, but Bills shows to have a slight advantage because, he's been a god longer. Goku's literally been a god for like less than 5 minutes. This fight escalates all the way towards the city area, in which Master Roshi, Bulma, Chi-Chi, Yamcha, Krillin, the whole gang follow them. And when they follow them, they get inside of this weird, like, little area that apparently Bulma invented this to transform into a ship and immediately follow after them. And the rest of the Z Warriors just sort of fly. The fight leads on to the city, in which when it leads to the city, they are fighting and fighting and fighting, and they keep fighting. And then Bills basically asks, hey, are you enjoying this life of being a god? And Goku goes, yeah, but there's a problem. And Bills is like, what, you're unsatisfied with being a god? And Goku goes, yeah, I don't like this transformation because it took all of my friends in order to get me to this level. Like, I wanted to fight you using my own power. And Bills is like, your pride will get in the way of you fighting. So the two continue to fight and fight and fight. And the fight even leads off into another area of the city and then continues onward towards this like woodland like forest area. The fight continues there, and Goku actually shows to have a bit of a disadvantage here. And I don't know why, but then he gets knocked away, and he gets knocked away towards this like wasteland like area, where Goku actually shows to be getting better as the fight progresses, and the fight keeps progressing towards the wasteland area. And then Bills asked, well, if that's the case, then how come you went this far. He's like, because I really wanted to fight you. And he's like, you got arrogance and I don't like that. So they keep fighting, and the fight leads towards this giant, like, towards the beach. And one of the attacks that they do is so strong, it ends up knocking an entire, like, huge mountain plateau apart. And the fight continues, and Bills knocks Goku away. And when he does, this water rises up. And when the water rises up, they find themselves fighting towards these giant waves and going even further into an underwater, like, cavern area. The fight continues there, and Piccolo and the rest of the Z Warriors can't really see what's going on. They can barely even hear what's going on. Piccolo's the only one who can actually hear what Bills and Goku are saying while the fight continues. And when the fight continues, before they fight on top of the water, Bills explains, well, how come you threw away your pride in order to fight me now? Goku's like, well, I really wanted to fight you. We Saiyans and Earthlings are confusing people. Vegeta gave up his pride in order to keep you from destroying the Earth. And he's like, yeah, he did. So you all are willing to give up anything in order to at least have a chance to fight. So with that said, they begin round 2. And when round 2 begins, Bills is fighting Goku on top of the water. And this is a really cool fight scene because, like, the speed in which everything is happening. It's happening literally at a point where all the water has picked up and the fight happens. And then when the water drops down, the fight continues. Goku's Super Saiyan God runs out, but he doesn't notice it yet. So the fight continues, and Goku is having a disadvantage. But he does end up getting some good hits off because of instant transmission. This pisses Bills off, and he reveals that he was only using about like 80% of his power, and Goku says he was using 82. So Bills gets mad and launches a bunch of energy blasts all over the entire cavern. And when this happens, Goku is knocking a lot of the rocks away, but he gets trapped inside of a bunch of rocks. Goku gets pissed because Bills is enjoying destruction too much, and he ends up transforming Super Saiyan. And when he ends up transforming Super Saiyan, it's like a special type of Super Saiyan this time, where he still has some of the Super Saiyan God energy within him. When he does, he ends up fighting Bills, and Bills powers up to full power, and the two are like fighting, and the fight leads its way out of the sea caverns, and then leads up into like the clouds and the stratosphere. And we see like this really cool fight scene in the stratosphere. The two are like exchanging punches and kicks and blows and knocking each other. Piccolo points out that Goku's just that normal Super Saiyan now, and not a Super Saiyan God. But regardless, the fight continues and continues and continues, and they keep exchanging blows and punches after punches, and it's just a really good fight scene. And while this is happening, the song Hero happens, which is a really good soundtrack song. The fight continues all the way up to like the sub-level of space, so they're like in subspace. And when this fight continues, Goku ends up using instant transmission Kamehameha, and he uses the instant transmission Kamehameha, which catches Bills completely off guard, and Bills blocks the attack, however, at last minute. And when that ends up happening, Goku notices that Bills survived the attack, but then Bills ends up using his strongest attack, known as the Destruction Ball. Yeah. Or Hell's Ball, or whatever. Anyway, he makes a giant flaming energy ball and throws it towards Goku, and Goku catches it and tries to stop it from hitting Earth, because, you know, Bills is going to destroy Earth. And Bills basically points out to Goku that, you're quite impressive. Your Super Saiyan God transformation ran out a long time ago, by the way. It's just your body recognized how strong Super Saiyan God was and kept it, like, stored in. So your power didn't diminish that quickly. It just diminished slowly enough for you to keep your fight up with me. And Goku's like, crap, that is what's been happening all this time. So while the ball is getting closer and closer and closer, Goku ends up running out of energy and transforms back normal state. And then Bills ends up using an energy blast out of his fingertips while Goku's doing that. He ends up getting hit, and the ball becomes closer and closer and closer to Earth. While this is all happening, the citizens of West City are looking, and all throughout the movie, they've noticed that weird things have happened, like Shinron coming out of nowhere and Goku and Bills fighting in the city, and they all have just passed it off as to say, that's just Capsule Corp doing weird stuff. So it's kind of cool to note that. But with that said, the ball's heading closer and closer and closer, and it looks like the Earth's about to be destroyed because Goku can't do anything anymore. He's lost all of his energy. And he tries to fight it off, but he ends up getting knocked back. Then Goku notices that Chi-Chi wants Goku to go full out, and everybody else is like, Goku, and they're wishing Goku luck. And when this ends up happening, Goku's energy goes back into his body. He transforms Super Saiyan God again, takes the ball, and somehow absorbs the energy of the energy ball completely away. The ball gets diminished, and then everything is back to normal. So when that ends up happening, Bills is like, hey, what did you just do? And Goku's like, I don't know. And then Bills goes, all right, I lost. And Goku's like, no, I lost. So Goku's the official loser of this fight. But Bills is like, wow, you're quite amazing. You're one of the strongest warriors I've ever fought. Not the strongest, but one of the strongest. The strongest being Wisp. And Goku's like, whoa, Wisp is actually the strongest warrior in the world? And he's like, not the strongest. There's a lot of other gods of destruction just like me. This is just the 7th universe, and there's 12 universes total. And Goku's like, that makes me excited, because, Goku likes to know that there's stronger opponents out there. So with that said, I'm going to continue the rest of this review in a part 2, because I didn't know it would take up that much time to explain the plot. So with that said, I will see you all in part 2, where I reveal the rest of the plot and my thoughts on the movie and whether I recommend it or not. So I'll see you all then, everybody. Tyrone the God 3 out for now.